wish good travel and a safe comeback to those ones who go back to the United States and will be soon back in this beautiful San Felipe weather. Okay. As always, I am going to in front of us. This is a very good friend of us. It's David Bondurant from Baja Medical Center. He has very great news to share with you.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Dave Bondurant. I'm the owner of Baja Medical Center.
No, I know.
I just want to make a quick announcement for you guys. So we made the announcement yesterday in our board meeting with Ed and Steve and everybody that come October we're going to start breaking ground on the hospital. So we have various things to do. We have our plans and renderings done.
Raise the mic.
What's Cutie? Closer?
Much better.
Okay. Hello. Okay. So we have why don't I sit down here? So we're going to have October is our first meeting that we'll start dealing with some of the feasibility studies and getting our permitting started, getting our engineering done. We'll be having some dirt moving and some, we'll have a rendering up showing what it's going to look like on the property. We'll start doing our bids to get everything going. Right now we're trying to figure out what to build it out of. We're not really excited about building out of wood or anything, but we do have to create it out of something that we have access to walls because of a lot of piped in oxygens and air and suctions and different things like that. But just to give you an idea of what we're going to have in the property, it's going to be a two-story, about 8,800 square feet. It's going to have a full radiology department where right now we're thinking about putting in like a 4 or 8 slice CT. It'll have x-ray, ultrasound, lab. The plan is to have 4 acute beds upstairs. There will be the urgent care and ER downstairs. The lobby is going to become member friendly. We're going to have a Wi-Fi bar in there. When you see the rendering, it's quite pretty. It's got an upstairs balcony and a downstairs patio that will be looking out towards the ocean. And we invite everybody to be able to come up there like you do at the Palapas and do your Skyping and that type of thing. And the reason we do that is we're hoping that a lot of you will take advantage of some of the things that we'll have there, like blood pressure cup, blood pressure checks, and things like that. Just while you're there, the idea is to keep everybody healthy. So there'll be various interactive things for you guys to do while you're there. But we want to make it as nice and as pleasant to have you come and use the facility the best you can. What we've been doing lately, and I don't know how many people took advantage of this, but we've been doing kind of like some preemptive things to get you understanding the type of technology that we're going to have there. We did last, was it March or April, when we did the carotid? April. In April, we did a carotid clinic. I don't know how many people took advantage of that, but we had 48 patients we saw over 2 days doing carotid screens. It was quite remarkable that out of 48 people, we had 13 normals. So the rest were not good. So we actually, I think it was 7 of those patients actually were recommended to see somebody soon. Yes, ma'am.
Are they going to do that again?
Yeah, I was just about to announce. So to get people to understand the technology we did carotids in April. We're going to be back in October doing vascular leg studies. We'll be doing it for 3 days, checking for claudication disease and peripheral vascular disease in we will be sending out, just like we did, the indications for that. And then next April, we'll be doing hearts, doing valve studies, echocardiograms for ventricular and cardiac output studies. After that, it's going to be an understanding then that you'll see what kind of technology we have here. So as just like now, carotids are available at the clinic now. For carotid screens, we have 2 ultrasound machines there now that can do those studies, and we have trained our X-ray tech Angel to be able to do those. We'll be bringing down the same tech that came in April to do the vascular leg studies, and then we will be training our staff on that procedure as well. And just so it's basically to let everybody know that this is available here. When the hospital opens, we'll not only have those procedures that you can do, but also the CAT scans, and also we'll be able to do gallbladders and kidneys and all that kind of stuff. So just to give you an idea, those procedures will have a fee of $50 when they're in the hospital, but just to give you an idea, they're $400 and plus to have them done in the United States. Granted, insurance pays for some of that, but when you count in the fact that you owe 20% or co-pays in various insurance plans, things of that nature, this is a significantly low price. What we can do is, if you see one of the physicians or that happens, we would give it the results and the images on a thumb drive for you to take back to your various homes, to your physicians, if we find any disease, for you to take it back. But I was very surprised when we did the carotids, just how successful that was. I think we brought attention to a lot of people that didn't know that they were in harm's way with strokes. They say that usually the first indication of a stroke is the stroke itself. So it's very vital that, and I'm going to include me because I'm 58 years old and I'm just the same. But these are things we need to pay attention to, and that's why it's imperative that the facility, that when we get open, that you come and take advantage of some of the things that are there. We're a long ways away from response, so preventative things are very vital. And at the clinic, even now, we have a lot of things there that can help you guys if you want to come in and have tests done. And you're allowed to. It's in your program. So to come in and pay a $10 copay and get an EKG and an X-ray and have your CBCs and urinalysis and all that kind of stuff is something that you guys should take advantage of. And I strongly recommend that when the announcement is made in October for the vascular studies, is that you come and have those done. And just so you know, when the vascular study in October, if you choose to not do that one, you can request to have a carotid done in its place. So you can have your choice to either one of those.
Rental coverage, medical coverage?
Okay, yeah. So yesterday in the meeting, the new contract with you guys states that anybody in your property is entitled to the services that you have individually. So if you have a rental property, those tenants are entitled to that same coverage because the coverage ties to the property. So when I stayed, for those of you who know, I own one of the condos, and I was one of the ones that caught on fire, or the neighbors caught on fire and took mine out with it. But I've been staying in a rental when I come down here, and noticed that on the refrigerator that announces, the various telephone numbers for people to call, that they didn't have a number for for health. And I was pointing out yesterday that if I'm staying there and something happened to me or somebody else, the first thing we do in the United States is call 911. So we want to make sure that in a time of panic or need that there's a number in the facilities or in the rentals to tell them how to call for medical services. And that means that if a person's staying in a rental, most of those rentals are owned by you guys, and the health coverage is tied to that property. So your tenants have the same ability to piggyback off of your program that you have. And it also, because it ties to the property, it doesn't matter who's in your property. If you have guests stay, they are entitled to come in and have the same service. So that was a very strong point that Ed and Dick and Steve negotiated when we were working on the contract. So our position is we want to get everybody to do preventative medicine, and if that means you guys, everybody in your place not worried about what the fee is or what the costs are to come in. We want people to come in and be checked. We want to make sure that you guys are healthy and enjoy living down here. That was the whole reason that Pat contacted me in 2007 was to try to prevent as much concern for health services as we can. We've invested a ton of money into educating our staff, sending them to various places, to Tijuana and Mexicali, to do continuing education programs to make sure that they can take on any type of needs you guys have. We've implemented snake venom bites or serum and all kinds of things that we've learned over the time that we've ran into that we needed to have in the facility to get you guys triaged safely back to the States and make it as comfortable as possible. But the hospital is going to be a really beneficial thing for us. The CT is going to be vital for trauma, car accidents. I don't know if you know about what CT does, but it basically takes a picture of the insides, tells if you have internal bleeding or various disease processes. So it's going to be a big tool for us to be able to have available here for us to diagnose lots of things, to determine whether you guys have to get in a car or whether we have to fly you out. So yes, it. Oh yeah, we're in July and August. There's no co-pays for any visits at the clinic. Both of those months. We usually don't charge those during the slow months when the population is down. So I don't know how many people have actually been there, but I'd invite you to come down and see what we have. But when the construction starts, I invite everybody to come down and take a look. And all you ladies, we would take any of your advice when it comes time to pick colors and different various decorations, because I'm not real good at that. So yes, sir.
Where's the location?
Right next door. My business partner and Larry, we own that it's a hectare, or I don't even know what a hectare is. It's like, we own 5 acres basically right there, just under 5 acres. The building that the clinic is in right now will remain. We're trying to negotiate to have that set up as a sundry pharmacy. Whether we try to get somebody that's already here, whether we bring someone else in. And when I mean and sundry pharmacy. I'd like it to be kind of like a mini Walgreens, if you will, to where not only can you get your prescriptions filled there, but there might be various other things like, shampoos, soaps, things like that you can buy there. And so we're trying to find somebody that would take on that building and renovate it into that. If it doesn't become that, there'll be some form of medical service that will be inside that building. We'll get rid of the 2 trailers, things that we're temporarily using now, but the actual clinic building will remain. And we'll tie that in aesthetically into a medical campus. I have talked with Versailles about what I want to do outside. I want to have a lot of trees, and I want to have make it pleasing for you to walk around, and kind of like hospitals do now, kind of like a tranquility garden type thing for you to enjoy the property. So it's going to be something that's going to be taking on different things over the years. We've kind of planned it in a modular plan, just like hospitals do now. I mean, I've been in the hospital business for 30 years. Hospitals are constantly under construction and adding things to them. So I'm sure we'll be going through the same things as we grow. Yes, sir.
3 quick questions. One is the time frame on the building itself. Second is the renter service. Is that long-term renters or including short-term renters?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter on that. It's tied to the property. So as long as that property owner, whether it's the landlord or they pay, it's tied to them paying the dues paid on the property. So it has nothing to do with the individual. It has to do with the property.
And third question was, with this facility, obviously, it strikes me you'll need more doctors. So is there a search going on or whatever for additional medical doctors to be assigned to the place?
Well, there will be, but understand how a hospital works. A hospital has emergency doctors that handle the emergency room, but as far as the urgent care, if you will, but the admission to that hospital, we will definitely hope that every doctor in town uses it. So if they choose to put a patient in there, then they'll come make rounds there. So it's just as any hospital does. Hospitals don't have physicians that work there. They have all doctors are their customers. Our urgent care will remain exactly the way it does. It'll have hours of operation exactly the way Baja Medical does now. The hospital itself will take on anybody who wants to utilize its services. So that's, what's his name? What's the doctor's name? The other guy? Solo. If he chooses to take advantage of its services, then we'll definitely hope he does. Dr. Israel, any of those guys. But as far as recruiting physicians, we're constantly trying to recruit physicians. So we've had various doctors right now that have come and done their residency out here and done rotations through our facility and stayed for 3-4 months at a time doing their residency. So we will strongly still urge that out of the University of Mexicali that uses those services now. Our X-ray tech and the guy we've trained to do ultrasound was someone that came out of Mexicali doing his residency here. So we will continue to do that, and every time one of them comes here, we do just like any other hospital or employer in town, we always try to ask them if they want to stay, or when they're done with their schooling, we'd love to have them come back and join us. So, yes, ma'am. Oh, one second, to answer your question, time frame, your last question, time frame, I would like it to be done as soon as possible, but I've been waiting for my condo to be rebuilt for now a year. Yeah, so I have no idea. It's been a struggle just getting it, and this is going to be even a lot more intense trying to find people that understand how to build a hospital. So hopefully we don't have to bring a lot lot of people from outside. So,
So is it dependent on a deal coming down, or is it already financed?
oh, we already have, there's no deal, no. It's my money, so, no, we've got most of the money already available. So, it has nothing to do with Pat or anything else. And just so you know, we have other members in this that outside of El Dorado. So this is not an El Dorado program. That land is not on El Dorado property. It's owned by me and my business partner in a corporation that has nothing to do with El Dorado. You're just our biggest customer. Pete's Camp currently is already negotiating with us on a program for them. I've already met with them, and let me finish answering your question. I forgot one thing to tell you. Yes, ma'am.
I want to know, we used to have a program for security that if something happened to our own people, or doesn't matter who, if we die, we used to have a helicopter that transfer us to our country, to our states, and they give us the money back. They cancel that. So we can have this kind of program again, then we have a hospital.
We have helicopter service.
Oh, helicopter service? Yeah, we've tried over the last few years to try to, is that what our question was? So we've tried over the years, and we've talked to SkyMed and quite a few other people about the helicopter service. We are going to have a helicopter pad on the property that's already designed into it. But as far as let me back up. We tried to get SkyMed to give us a deal that we could incorporate into your fee, into your annual thing that you pay through your HOA. That number put us out of the price point that we thought that you would want, because understand, people that don't even live here still pay for their service. So when the people that live here were happy and probably would have bought the service, but the people that didn't, it was going to put an addition to their HOA fees that they weren't taking advantage of the service because they didn't live here. So it put us in a tough position. So we were unable to accept that deal that they gave us. So individually, we have had it to where if we need to fly you out, then we call and we take care of the calls to get you out of the country.
But I want to know if that's going to be any program like used to be that time. We paid for it, and then they cancel it, they give us the money back. But we still don't have enough of the program. And we are to that age, over 80, we thinking to have life money and take it to the market in Michigan. I want to.
Yeah, I'm just, at this point, I don't have a solid answer on that. Because when you have a hospital, and it's our responsibility to triage people out. Every hospital has that responsibility. If you're in the United States, I remember Hans went up when he got hurt. He went to El Centro, and they transported him to San Diego. Every hospital has that responsibility. So if you were to come into our facility right now and you had a stroke or heart attack or a trauma of some kind, it's our responsibility once you're in our walls to get you to the next place you need to be. We need to contact flight. We've already done that a number of times where we put you in an ambulance and get you across the border. There's a neutral area there at the border crossing that our ambulance drives in, and the United States ambulance comes and we transfer you at that point. Same thing happens with helicopter. But as far as a program, that's something we're going to have to look at once we're open and see if it's something we want that we can offer to you at that time.
That's the almost 20 years, and I don't want to actually come and one out coming to me because he can't even talk really good. No Spanish, no English at all. Because Gilman's gone, and I want to know if you
answer is yes. We're always going to be looking to find that. But I want you to understand that if you come into our facility right now, whether you have a program or not, and your husband needs to be flown or you need to be flown back to the United States, we are going to take care of that. And we're going to organize you getting back. This is not, we do not have to, am I answering your question, Ron, or? Okay, so we do not have an option once you're inside of our building to just say, sorry, you're on your own, see you later. It doesn't happen. We had this discussion last month at the board meeting. I had brought to their attention that when you choose to get in an ambulance and drive somewhere else other than our facility, and we're the closest medical facility that you pass by, and you're under my care as the HOA service, you're putting me at risk legally by bypassing my facility and going somewhere else. Now, granted, you might not do anything about it, but I said this the other day. If you got in an ambulance and the ambulance went right past my facility and you passed away, your family would have the right to sue me, because they would find out that you had a policy with me to take care of your health, and we didn't do it. And so I was very upset to find out that it was becoming almost a choice that the ambulances could drive past us and take you anywhere they wanted, or even you chose to. And I said, how many times in the United States do you get in an ambulance and tell the ambulance driver, like a taxi cab driver, take me to Sunrise Hospital? They take you to the closest facility in an emergency. And that is what I'm saying needs to be done here. I'm not going to put us at risk because you choose to bypass the closest emergency services at a time of trauma. And then I'm dealing with your family members that are upset that you weren't taken care of by me and you pay me a fee to do so. So that I don't care if you do that when you're just maybe feeling okay, but in a time of an emergency, I made it very clear that the ambulance needs to stop at the closest facility. We can get you to wherever else you want to go once we make sure you're okay to do that. So, but.
You have a fully equipped crash cart.
Yes, we do. Yeah. Everybody in our facility has been advanced life support trained for codes, and our crash cart is completely up to date. We monitor it all the time. All the drugs and everything are in there, and we fully understand how to use them. I have 20 years in my history. I worked in emergency and open heart surgery, and that was the first thing I had happen when I came here, was to get everybody in our staff sent off to advanced life training courses. Let's go here. Sorry.
Hi. I bought my house here this last year, and all of this is a pleasant surprise to me. I'm a PhD psychologist, speak fluent Spanish, and I'm wondering if you would have a need to incorporate my services.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I talked to a lady last night I talked to a lady last night, and exactly the same thing. She asked me, she does some holistic thing or something, and asked me, we are going to have areas in there that people can come in and make appointment. That you can set up Tuesdays and say, I'm going to see patients. That's completely up to you. We'll make the space available at no cost. You don't have to pay us. You can come in and make your own appointments and do whatever. We want that to be a medical campus for as many types of things as we can. We hope to bring doctors in from the United States that will come down and do cardiology exams or pulmonary exams or anything. You run into a difficulty with the reciprocity with American physicians down here. They have to work under the license of a doctor here, but done that already. So Dr. Lopez or Dr. Laura, they take on the responsibility of those guys. And we had an internal medicine doctor come down a couple of years ago and see patients. So we're going to continue to promote that type of thing. So,
Right, yeah, there are many ways I could, be an adjunct to what you're doing. Like, for example, I come from
Speak into the mic.
from Arizona, and there are PhD people who work in doctor's offices there who consult with the patients and find out, if they're changing their lifestyle and all that kind
absolutely.
of thing. Preventive kinds of
Your self-promotion is we definitely.
experiences like
Absolutely.
meditation and yada yada. So, we can talk. And
Absolutely.
like,
Sure, I'll be back. I'm back down here September 20th.
Okay.
And then, as you know, just so you guys know, we're here every month. The only months we're not here is July and August. But we're down here. We have a board meeting with I think there's about 8 of us or 9 of us that we meet every month. There's a representative from every HOA basically that it's an advisory committee. So I strongly recommend you to get a hold of any of your advisors, and if you have questions about anything as well. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
I have a
think that'll be the last one. Go ahead.
I have a question about insurance. Several years ago, 10 years ago, my husband had a stroke here. We went by ambulance to the border, and then from the border to a hospital. From the hospital, he was transported by helicopter to San Diego. And all of that was covered by Medicare because it was from a hospital to a hospital. Of course, they didn't cover the ambulance ride. So my question is, if somebody is here at the hospital here and has a medical emergency where they need to go to the States, is that covered by Medicare?
It is, but it's covered by Medicare because that's just Medicare. So I mean, if you're in Singapore and transfer there, Medicare has an emergency thing for when you're out of the country and it's your transfer. They do not pay for the hospital's expenses, but in this scenario, there is no hospital expense because you're covered under the membership here. So the answer is yes, they cover from hospital to hospital, even out across borders. But as far as them covering my fees, there is no. But then again, you don't have a fee because with us, you're covered under your HOA program. So if we ever get Medicare for all, that'd be interesting to see what happens. Let's all hold our breath right now. So and I hope it never happens, by the way. So they can't even handle our DMV for God's sakes. Okay, thank you. Yes, sir. I might give him.
I would like to know if you changed your doctors and your office staff and procedures since 2014?
Change them?
Yeah, because in 2014, my wife went in for supposedly a free blood test. Before she could get the free blood test, she had to see the doctor. And then to get the results, she had to go back and see the doctor again, and it cost us $70. So there was no free blood test. It cost us $70. That's why we don't use your facility.
Okay, well, I don't know. You're going to have to tell me about that because that's not how it works. So you pay $10 when you come to see us. Always have. So I don't know whether it was after hours or what happened, but we do have an after-hour call. But I'll get your number, your name, and we'll talk. We'll do that. If it was, we'll refund it. But that's not how we work. So I'll find out.
At that time, your staff on the desk said you can't have a blood test until you have an appointment with the doctor.
You have to see the doctor.
And then when we went back for the results, it was the same thing. You have to see the doctor. You get your result. And we had to pay to see the doctor both times.
Okay, well, but, and you had a different contract from 2007 to 2017, and when you, in 2014, you were under a different agreement that we signed in 2007 that had a copay when you came in to see the doctor. You still have that copay now, but the 2017 contract is not that way. So you pay $10 when you come in to see. You always will pay $10 every time you come in to see. And yes, you have to see a doctor to get a test ordered, the free CBC. And yes, you have to see the doctor when you come back to get your results. That's every hospital, every doctor, every doctor I've ever been to, and as long as I've been in the industry, that's what you do. You have some doctors charge you even to go in and get a prescription filled. I mean, so you know, my doctor, I get a prescription filled every single month, and then about every 6 months he goes, you know, Dave, you gotta come in and see me, because it's how he makes his living. So just as our doctors do, that's how they make their living. So if we just saw everybody every time they walked in to get something done, then it kind of defeats the purpose. But a copay is put in place, you guys, to inhibit you from walking in all the time. That's how a cap works. A capitation is about you pay a discounted fee based on a large volume of people that a doctor gets paid a flat amount of money, and to inhibit you from just coming in every time you have a sniffle or cold, they put you at risk for a certain portion of that to make sure you don't come in every time you're sick. And that's what a cap does. Every HMO in here has that's why a deductible is in place on an 80/20 plan. It's to stop you from going unless it's serious. So that's why we have a copay. If we didn't have a copay and it was just straight across, every single person in here would just walk in every time they needed to be seen. But the new program, to answer your question, and I'll look into your case and find out what happened, the new program is based on you pay $10, you come in, see our doctor. It's unlimited now. Back in 2014, there was only 3. Remember that you only got 3 free visits. That chest x-ray and 1 free blood test or whatever. Now it's unlimited. You can come in as many times as you want. You just have to pay $10 every time you come in. I'm sorry, last one.
I was there 2 weeks ago, walked in to get a prescription written, and I was charged $15. Is the copay 10, 15?
I don't know.
I'm charged $15 to walk in, have the doctor write me a prescription.
Don't know. I guess I will bring that up to him, but it is $10, right? It's $10, right? That's the new agreement. I will check. Who did you see?
Dr. Lopez, $15 for it.
Okay, well, you know, Dr. Lopez sometimes does whatever he wants. So, and I'm not a big Lopez fan, so just so you understand. So, we found out he was using our facility to be the doctor for the Baja or the 250, and I got a call from the owner of the Baja 250 at 4 o'clock in the morning, upset that every patient that was coming into our clinic was getting sent to Mexicali for a $1,000 MRI. I didn't order 1 MRI, and I didn't even know we were seeing any patients in the building. So I will look into that, and if it is, I owe you $5 and I owe you $70. So I'll get both your names before I leave. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. There was one last thing that I wanted to say that I forgot, but it was about the hospital. Anyways, I appreciate everybody's time. You have a quick question?
Yeah. Back around that time in 2014, people going in and getting diagnosed with water, like their doctors in the U.S., they got a different disease that was unsolved. And they were referring people and myself to some doctors in Mexicali. Are you going to be referring me to doctors in Mexicali?
We have no affiliation with anybody anywhere. I mean, if a physician, again, we had Dr. Lopez referring to his daughter in Mexicali, and we put a squash to that. But as far as water retention or fluid retention, everybody in here probably has a little bit of that because we're all older. But my point is that when somebody makes an indication here, and in 2014 we had absolutely no other diagnosis ability here other than stethoscope and an X-ray machine. So that's why I brought ultrasound. That's why I'm bringing CAT scan. I'm trying to bring as many things as I can. When country doctors only use and make guesses, and then when they go back to the United States, you bring in all these types of machines that they can make better assessments than we can. Our responsibility is to make sure that we make the best educated guess we can and take the risk out of sending you back. So we've had cases where the patients have come back and said, my doctor says that wasn't true. But at the same time, we would have been remiss not taking our best educated guess on the symptoms we had at that time and sending you back. I'd rather you always come back and tell me that it was wrong than have you come and say I missed something. So I never get upset when they come and tell me that it wasn't true.
So no referrals to Mexicali doctors then, right?
No, who said that?
So no referrals will be made to Mexicali doctors?
Only if you want us to. So,
I know.
yeah. The referrals will only go, right now, we're always going to ask you where you want to go. Most people want to get back to their doctor in the United States.
Just one quick question on the ambulance. We currently have a program, I assume we still have it, where there's $400 fee for an ambulance ride up to Mexicali, and that money is kept in HOA if we don't have it. Now, based on your explanation, if we were to go to the clinic first and then need an ambulance ride, that doesn't even cost that $400. Is that correct based on?
No, I have nothing to do with the Red Cross. I'm saying
Your own.
we will never have our own. No, we'll never have our own. But I want you guys to understand, we kind of do have our own. I mean, we give $1,500, $2,000 a month to the Red Cross. We've been supporting the Red Cross for years. We actually are the reason why they're not closing their doors on all the time, every month when their power runs out. We started supplementing them with supplies and money a long time ago to try to keep the service available for you guys. So it's a line item on our agenda every month on what we gave to the Red Cross every month. So we're going to use them. We tried our own ambulance at one time, it didn't work out. The problem with an ambulance, sir, is that once it takes off to Mexicali, then we don't have one. So
again, I'm happy with the $400. I just misunderstood what you said.
yeah, no, her question was whether the ambulance was paid for from hospital to hospital by Medicare. And it is under your Medicare plan. Again, nothing to do with us. And it will when we're a hospital. We're not a hospital right now. So when we're a hospital, your argument's going to be with Medicare or your insurance company that you were transferred from a hospital to hospital, and Medicare has a provision for that. But it has nothing to do with us.
Okay, so when you said you're responsible as a hospital to get you from hospital to hospital, which I understand, I interpreted it.
Financially.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have no financial responsibility.
That's fine.
No, we have a responsibility legally to get you from here to there in the safest way possible. If you were standing there with a massive stroke and I decided to have you go by donkey, then I'm responsible. Yeah, I'm responsible. That's why I'm saying the responsibility fiduciously is for us to make sure that we get to where you need to go the best way and fastest medical way. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Okay, as you can see, David gave us a very good explanation. For sure, there's always doubts after a speaker says the information. If you have more questions, you can contact him at Baja Medical Center, or his staff will be happy to help you out with more questions. Okay, things that are nice to hear. Besides, for those who doesn't visit the web, many information about Baja Medical Center. It's on the web. We have the meeting boards minutes in there, so you can read what we talk about. And for example, he didn't mention it, but right now he has Dr. Laura and Samantha under a trainee that is going to last 1 year. So see, this is the way that he is trying to prepare this person to be ready and available for you. For sure, there will always be little things happening. Nothing is perfect in this world, but I think so these are very good news. Okay, now we will proceed with our meeting. As always, I will read about the meeting procedure. I will make the presentation, and the questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. For the questions, each person will take a turn at the microphone in front, stating your name, your lot number, and your question, to provide an opportunity to talk for everyone. One question, please. Okay, the next point in the agenda is to present the administrator supervisory committees. In EDR, we have Steve Kimmy, Ed Jones, and Dick Peterson. La Ventana and Mark, Denise Lavin, and Hans Walshut. And in Las Villas, Marta Rizek and Gary Lambert. As always, I want to thank them for all the hard work that you put in, the many hours that you work with. Many things that they do are not known by the owners, but they make research, they make special meetings. They just don't go to the meeting of the supervisors each month. They do different tasks, they are involved in many things in town too. And all of this is a benefit for the community. I think so. I have to recognize their efforts, and I thank you for that. The next thing is the public meetings, dates to remember. Town hall meeting, the next one and the last one of this year is September 28th. Developers meeting in October 31st. General Assembly meeting in November 1st for EDR, and in November 2 for La Ventana del Mar, Las Villas. The next point in the agenda is the main newsletter. In this, I want to include the 3 months period, but I always speak about the last one. In this one, we have information about BMC, the board meetings, and the presentation that David did. One thing that many people have noticed in the ranch is the bees. We have many bees. Our ecology department is getting crazy, taking the hives, taking the nests out of the houses. Each week we take around 10 or 12 of them out of houses or condos or any living space in the ranch. One thing that I recommend is, if you see that in your building, in your house, there is some crack, a hole, please cover it, because those are the preferred places for the bees to come into a house. They are humid, they are dark, they are easy to go in and out, so they love them. Anyhow, it's good that the bees are back, because if not, we are going to die of famish. Okay, the next one in the newsletter. This is a very important thing. We know that we have very good writers in the ranch. People who used to write reports, or they work in schools, or any other, even correspondents, or news people. So if you have information that you can share with the community, we will appreciate sending them writing things, important things, interesting things, so we can add to the newsletter, so that people likes to read it. If you have that information, if you would like to write about your expertise, it can be anything. I can tell you that we have used the services of many of our members in road grading, in termite treatment, in many things. So if you have a kind of expertise and you want to share it with us, please do it. We will appreciate that. Steve will be reviewing that and get in contact with you. Basically, that's what I wanted to comment about the newsletter. The next one is Las Villas grill relocations. You know why we are relocating the Villas grills. This is a request that the insurance company do directly to us. It was advised by the fire department after the second fire, and we let the owners know. The first response I received from the owners is, no way, Jose. And I say, well, we are getting at risk more and more of having problems with the insurance company. So finally, it came to that end. The insurance company told us, you move the barbecues or I want insurance anyway. Besides, starting now, the prime goes up very heavily, a copay and another charge. So we were saying, like, if you charge all that money to us, it's not good to have the insurance at all, because 70% of the cost will be paid by the owner after the fire. So we start dealing with them. It was a good war, I can tell you. It was a very good war with them. Finally, we agreed in moving the barbecues. Right now, there are still some of them outside in the condos. We are getting in contact with all the owners. All the property management companies, they already take them out. They're in the process of finishing the work, because when you take it out, it needs work to be done. And they relocate them, but they're in a safe position now. And many of the grills are being transformed from gas to bricks of charcoal. So it's safer, and there's no thing that I don't know how to use it. So that's the position right now. We are working that. It's an effort that is needed by the developer with the help of Ricardo Montaño and Lupita Martinez. So this is the way it is going. The next one is safety and security. Right now, one of the things we are going to do in security is we are going to train the activities guys. You can see 3 of them right here, dressed in green, because they are all the time in contact with the people all around the ranch. So besides that, I let you know some more things that maybe some of you know, some of you don't. In any supervisor car in security, we have, what is this called? Yeah, an AED equipment. So anytime you call security, any of these supervisors in the area they are moving, the closest one to you will be responding. If there is the need of an AED, what? AED, they have it, and they know how to use it, because they have been trained by the fire department guys. And besides, we bring guys from Mexicali, from a group that is called Grupo Beta, and they train them, so they know how to use them. They are good at CPR too. And anyhow, we are ready to answer. Anytime that there has been an emergency, I think so they have been on time, and they have very good responses from the people. Today, I haven't received a complaint about they didn't do it right. I received only one commentary from an expert, fire department captain, and he told me there are some details. In general, it was good, but you have to work on these details. And I told him, I really thank you, because those are the things that make us better. I really thank you when you tell me you are not doing this 100%. We want to do it the best we can. So I really appreciate when that happens. The other thing in security and safety, let me tell you that right now I am going to the Attorney General in town. We already put one guy who was robbing for 3 years in jail. This was just last week. And we are going to try to add some more to that. And we have a second guy that it's in the process. I attended a hearing on Wednesday, and he gets some time from the judge. Sometimes the judges tend to be tender, but we will be back maybe in December. He was given a plan to pay, but he's told if he doesn't comply once, I can get him. I'm going to put him in jail. If not, we will go to the hearing in December. But I can tell you that first was the cable. We put those guys in the jail. There has not been more cable theft. Remember that we were like crazy all around the ranch. these guys were petty thieves. One is in jail, and the other one is in process. So that would put the ringing in the guys around town saying, I better don't go to Rancho El Dorado. They put us in jail. So this is another thing about security. Sometimes we have mishaps like happen in the pool, happen things like that, but it's, like I say, it's not something that I like, but it happens. The next thing is the collection reform. We have been working, collecting all these years. If you want to see how much we have collected, all the information is in the website. In the section that is collections, you can see the report reads summary of collections of the month, January, February, whatever it is. You can see that we have been collecting good. At this time of the year in July, usually is when we get all the residents or owners in general that have not paid this year. For example, this year of 2019, everybody who hasn't paid become delinquent in April. We wait to give that to our collectors until July because we don't want to pay immediately collection fees to the collectors, because 3 months, I think, so is a good period to say somebody forgot, somebody sent a check, it's in the mail, whatever. But after 3 months, it's already July, we pass the collection to our collectors, and then we get a good amount of money too. So this is the next step we are doing right now. Storms and road maintenance. Right now, we already are in the hurricane season. We have right now one, which is Alvin. Alvin is around Acapulco line more or less. It will not affect us, it's going to the sea. In 3 days more, it's going to be disappeared. And we have another one forming in the south of Oaxaca. In accordance with the meteorologist department, this is not going to affect us either. But I don't take out of my mind Rosa last year, so I keep track of them daily. I go into in Conagua in Mexico, and they are connected with the hurricane services in the United States. So they have accurate information daily, twice a day. So I am following them. Right now we don't have any problem. In road maintenance, I want you to know, many of the people who live in Vista del Mar already noticed, we put 4,700 meters of red there over there. It has not been done in several years. Right now we do all of it. This Monday we'll start the second part of, how can I say, ironing the street, so it will be in a very good condition. So that will be a good thing for all that section. You will see in the slideshow that when and how we put the earth, which is the next point, the slide presentation. I have noticed that when we go into detail, into, for example, the roofing, the painting of the buildings of Las Villas, people start to leave. And I know it's a lot of work. I have to show it, but this time I decided to do it differently. We have a total of 110 slides between EDR, Las Villas, and La Ventana del Mar and Las Villas. I will show 86 of them only, because the last ones, from the 86 to 110, is the roofing. So anyone who wants to see the whole thing can go to the web. There will be the presentation, the slideshow, so you can see from 86 to 110. So the ones who doesn't want to see all that, we will see only to the 86. Okay. We're trying to improve all the time. We'll start with the town hall meeting in June 2019 at the Royal Ranch slideshow. Next, please. This is what I just said, the Vista del Mar red dirt being thrown out into the road, and the I did the Caterpillar working on it. They were 4,700 meters, so it was a good amount of earth. Next, please. Tennis court number 1 repair. Right now, our courts are looking very, very good. We are keeping them in shape. So this work was done during this 3-month period. Next, please. Tennis court number 2 repair. Same thing. You can see that our guys work in very hard conditions. They are in the sun. It's a knees and hands work. So I really appreciate their work, and I tell them when I go and visit them, because we go to the areas where they are working to talk with them and give them encouragement. Next. Bus stair repair. This bus is daily, all day. So the stairs were very in bad shape. They were decaying. So right now we redo them. A lot of the work that we do, I don't want somebody else from outside to come and do it and charge us a ton of money. Our people do it, so we save a lot of money. Next, please. Hacienda del Sol new sign. This was a call for our attention for a resident. It's already there, and we will keep working on them. Next, please. You can see another one, Puerta del Sol sign repainted. This one, the metal was in good shape, so we just repainted it, and now it's back. Next. All our gardenier were in very bad shape because of rosa and time, so we take them out and we redo them. This one at that time, there was not the name on it for the entrance of the community, but right now all of them had it. Next. Same thing here. This was totally destroyed, so we take it out with our backhoe and we make it in block and cement. So this is going to last for a long, long time. A good expensive money that will save us a lot of money in the future. Next. Hacienda del Sol entrance painting. Here, it's again the same case. In the past, we used to call a guy from town to make it. Right now, our guys are doing it, and you cannot see the difference. Next. This is maintenance that we do in our vehicles. This was model number 6 bumper repair. At that time, we do all the work that is needed. The welders, the painters are our own people too. Next. Saltito Gate short circuit repair. This happens with the rain, with the humidity, so from time to time we have short circuits and we fix it. Next. Ecology flatbed repair. This one has a lot of work all year. With these ones, they pick up all the trimmings, the bushes, everything that they have to pick it up. So we almost repaint it and fix it yearly. You can see how it was and how it's finished. Here they will still have to change that wood piece, but it was done too. Next. Library electric repair. We changed the lights. Right now we have LEDs, so it's very well illuminated now. Next. Punto uno, no LED lights. Everywhere that we need to repair lights or change them, we are putting LED lights. So we are saving money on electricity because the rates are keeping going up. Next, please. LED lights installed at Saltito Gate. Another thing with the LED lights is that we can illuminate bigger areas, so they are safer. We can see the guys. This new technology with these small yellow things, they give a lot of power. Next, please. Activities office, new electrical panel. This was the way it was. Now it has been done again. Next, please. Same thing. This was going to be painted, but they showed that they have finished the metal thing and the coverings, and we want that cover all the time. Next, please. Ford F200 steps manufacturer. This was done by our people. Like I said, they are welders, they are painters, so we are saving money. Next. Police patrol battery base. This is something that we have to do to maintain the police car. Next, please. Water truck international 205 tank repair. We have these on our maintenance program, so our trucks, water trucks last longer. Next, please. Water truck, Peterbilt welded. This piece was broken, so it was broken and repainted again. Next. Southern Saltgate new hydromatic tank. This is for the guys who are in the gates, so they can have water for different things. Next, please. Vista del Mar garbage container repair. We are all the time going around the ranch, but we have many trash containers. So sometimes, and we have so many things to do too, sometimes they are not all in good condition, but we are working on that. You can see here, this part was already teared up, and right now they are welding all the metal. At the end, they finished this one too. Next, please. Here you can see the welding, and here you can see the ending of the area that was scrubbed out. Next, please. Parking stop and metal forms manufacturing to making the parking lot stops. Another thing that we used to buy, right now we do them. So they are done in cement, so they long last. Next, please. Tennis court benches repair. The seagulls help us to maintain like this. We repaint them. Next. Folding metal tool manufacturer. There are tools that our guys are inventing to do the work. This is one of them. This is to bend in metal sheets so they can use them. These ones, we use them into the infrared system that covers the panel, the solar panels from the signals, because they tend to stand on top of it and then damage them. Next, please. So with the folding metal in top, they cannot stand in the panels. Next. Catania lab pool lights. When we started changing the lights, we discovered that they were not way to arrive through to the lights with the cables from the side. So we have to break the floor and put direct access for each light. We still have to do 4, but this is going to solve a problem forever. Next. Cachanilla main pool channel cleaning. We did it. Totally. Next. We have to repaint each year the shades structures. So we put a primer, then we paint them. They are done. Next. Cachanilla main pool Sundeck floor repair. It's, I think so we are going to finish with the last pieces next month, so that will be it for a good time. Next. Jacuzzi pool deck renovated, all of it. There is our guys working as always. Next. Pool reception office remodel. This was in bad shape, it doesn't resemble a good office, so right now it looks okay. Next. Woman shower handicapped baths. This was a request from one of our residents, and we see that it was a need because this is for safety. So we installed them. We went with Ricardo Montano so he can give us exactly place where they have to be in accordance with the American standards. So they are like there. Next, please. Sealer showers and gardeners. These pieces of stone were getting displaced, so we sealed them in place. This is the area of beside the jacuzzi to get a shower. So this was very humid all the time. Right now it's fixed. Next. Water truck, 1993, welded chassis. With the movement of the water and the pressure, our roads are not paved, so the trucks move from side to side, and that forces the chassis to break. You can see here, and then we put a welding metal plate, so that gives extra strength. Next, please. Same thing, another one that we welded. Here there was to be painted still. Next. Water truck 92. We repaired the lights, and we make a second one so everybody can see them. Next. Water truck Kenworth 2007 tank painted. and this is for the fires. We don't want them. Next. Grader 1 suspension. The graders, they work very hard, so they get all the time maintenance. This is general maintenance for them. Next. Dump truck suspension spring repair. Same thing with the dump truck and the water trucks. The suspensions work very, very hard. They break, so we have to change them. Next. New tires for grader 1 and 2, and the backhoe 2 tires, the front ones. Next. Water truck tires in 92, 2001, and the personal was 2 in each one. Next. We bought in the month of June a new Toyota Tacoma. This is for the chief of security. Right now it's gray. We tried to get it in white like the rest of the vehicles, but there was not in the market. So we get the gray, and later on we will paint it. Right now we have a good body shop guy in our maintenance crew too. Next. We keep training our people in firefight training. This was done at night. So we do it in daylight, we do it at night, so they are ready for anything at any time. I can tell you that the last fire was extinguished in a record time. And the fire department arrived here too in a record time too. Next please. Water truck drivers training. This is something that we are training many of our employees because there are different shifts. For any time there is a fire, for example, any kind can jump into a truck, turn it on, let the brakes, air start charging, so when our drivers arrive they are ready. Or the guys that we are training, they can take the buses over there so they can work in extinguishing any fire. Next. Emergency security training. All of these are guys from security. You can see they are taking pressure, they are training in different things. We do CPR too. So we have people prepared for that. Next. This is the stuff we buy for them, different things. This is for gasoline, this is tape for closing areas, for the computers, LED lights, to clean the keyboards, a camera, and some other stuff. Next please. This is for security too, jumper cables, radios, micros, stand up for putting the car in the jack stand. And these are to control the voltage in the infrared lights. Next. That's another service that we are doing. We just provide boots for all of our employees in security because in summer the snakes go out. So they have to be prepared. Next. This is the cleaning and maintenance that I say that we are doing ourselves. This is the gift from the singles. That's why we are putting a cover over it. Infrared sensor cleaning and maintenance. I'm pretty sure it's not just the bad image or it's not working well. This has acids, so they damage the panels. So we are protecting them because they're not cheap. Next. Activities, new equipment. Jorge's air went off, so we bought a new one for him. We don't want him to lose more weight. And we have equipment here, different things, basketballs, volleyball balls, soccer balls, so different things. A speaker, Blu-ray for the pictures in the pavilion. Next. Now we go with La Ventana del Mar. La Ventana del Mar, we put new flags on there. I told them the next time please iron them before we show them. Next. Boulevard palm streaming. This we do it more or less 2 times a year, so they look nice and the boulevard looks like it has to. Next. This is at Lapa Lapa, the same thing. We took all the debris out of it and put them in the composta site. Next. New drain at Lapa Lapa pool, pump room. This was this way in 1 year. Well, 1 year it damaged, but it has been serving for maybe 20 years. So we put a new one. Next. Pump room window bar bars painted at La Palapa to keep out the humidity. Next. Install fence on the Ventana del Mar and Pete's Camp limit. It was very important. We had many intrusions from Pete's Camp to La Ventana del Mar. And sometimes were not residents of Pete's Camp, they were burglars. So the developer donated 300 meters of fence, and we installed it with the posts. So it right now is protected all that area. Next. Manholes, wood bars all around. Next. This is very important for you to know. Because of the fires and all of that, one of the questions from the insurance company was, have you been certifying your tanks? And we really haven't. So the first thing I did was call the gas company. They came down. You will see more pictures with the guys working on the tanks. Good news that all our tanks were good. And they painted, they put their name on it, everything. Next, please. This is the cleaning of the sewer treatment pump membranes. We have to take them out, clean them, so they are back working again. Next. You can see, thank you. You can see that they go in like they are going to the moon, because it's very healthy area. There's a lot of all different things there. Not good things, I can tell you. I don't even want to remember the names. Next, please. Street, okay. Water leak repairing water from area. Sometimes you can see that we have to go deep. There are different levels of this work. So this was deep. This is the ones that get corroded. Next, please. And here is the finishing of it. For sure, this is new. This one is old. The difference of the colors are obvious. But on time, the sun makes them almost equal. Next, please. We are changing the street lights in La Ventana for this kind. I can tell you that this was a saving from $240 a piece to $180. Right now we are working with our supplier. We are going to use a new technology. He has the lamps, the wall lamps. So it was very easy for him to tell us, I don't have a problem, I'll send you the lamp. But we find out the small squares, yellow squares that I showed you in the other LED light. And we told him, well, you know, we already have all the lamp. We just want you to transform all of these into a square like this. And he says, okay, I'm going to do it. But you know, I have bought several of these lamps for you because you are my only client who orders those. I say, well, how many do you have? He said, 5. Okay, no problem, I buy it from you. And he said, well, instead of 180, which was already a saving of $60, he said to us, we are going to give them to you, the last 5, at 120. And now, the cost of the new thing, we are working with him, and maybe it's going to cost $50. From $240 to $50. So I think so if we can pull this out, we will put a light the whole Ventana del Mar. This is a problem that we have been carrying for years. And we can do this, finally. We already put a lamp in testing, has been working very well. So if we can pull this out, this is going to be a big solution for La Ventana. Next. Water Truck International 2010 tank. Rim painted, and the rims and the tank were painted. Next. Water Truck International 210 water hose connector installation. This is for the fire occasions too. This is like it was, this is like it ended up. Next. New garden tools for the guys. This is the guy who maintains all the boulevard from the main entrance at La Ventana. Next. Las Villas. Next, please. Here we have buildings painted and roof repairs. This shows all the year. Painted condominiums, are the ones that I've been yellow. Okay? And the repair roofs are in red. So you can see that we have been busy a little bit. Still, we have like, I think so there are around 7 or 12 roofs. But each month we have some more. But we are finishing them. So at the end we will be just giving a maintenance each 10 years. Next. Parking spaces and walkways. Same thing, the red ones are parking spaces that we have done and they are already in place. And the walkways in the black corner. So this is inventory that we present to you so you can see that we have been working. Sometimes they're not noticed, but sometimes owners are not here when we do them, things like that. Next. We have been working with the people who put requests for actions in windows broken. So we do the windows. They pay a copay, the insurance fee for changing the windows, which is like $20. This is the 33, next. 43, next. And 13.2, next. Then this was erosion at condo 50. This was the way it was. This was the way it finished. Next. Water leak repair at condo 44. Here it was. Same thing, look at all the earth that we have to take out. Next. Water leak repair at condo 8, deeper. Like I said, there are different levels and finally repair. Next. We changed the pool rule signs at BS 1 and 2. So right now the people can't say I didn't read it. I couldn't see it. Next. Hot tub pump call BS 1 replaced. This was making the motor not working properly. Now it's okay. Next. This is the certification of the tanks. These people is from the Zeta Gas company. So if they say the tanks are not good, we have to change them. So they were good, they paid them, they gave us all the guarantee. And they changed all the valves too. Next please. BS2, the other one was BS1, this is BS2, propane tank inspection for certification. And we did do this too at Tapalapa. Next. Condo 15.3, wall repair. Same thing, our people working in the painting and detailing in 15.3. Next. The painted buildings were condo 21, condo 40, condo 73, and condo 23. Next. Here, this is the last slideshow that I am going to show. Arturo will be passing them by while I talk, but the room repairs are 1, 1, 2, 4, 10, 3. Velas pasar, please. Pero tengo que verlas. You're right. Return, please. Okay. 1, 1, 2, 4, 10, 3, 13, 1, 13, 2, 17, 4, 19, 2, 19, 4, 25, 2, 25, 3, 26, 3, 29, 2, 31, 4, 32, 2, 35, 4, 26, 1, 38, 3, 39, 3, 56, 2, 71, 72, 77, 1, and 39, 2. All the repairs are there, all they have pictures, but if you want to see them all, please go to the website. This is the end of the presentation. Arturo will be passing by when I come back. So this is the presentation of this town hall. Now I will open the session for questions. Anybody who would like to make a question, please come by to the front. You will have to go to the podium, please.
Hi, my name is Steve Kinney. For those who don't know me, I'm the supervisor at EDR, but I'm also the editor of the newsletter. I know Roberto talked a little bit about the newsletter when I was out with Dave after his presentation. But the thing I wanted to talk to you about is, briefly, there's been lots of complaints, and justifiably so, about the HOA website. We realized this last year, in 2018, some of the other supervisors and myself underwent a study of the entire year of 2017 as to how people are using the web, what they look at, what they don't look at. And as a result of that, we did a redesign of the HOA web with the goal of getting 90% of what people look at within 2 clicks. You don't have to go down 4 or 5, sometimes 6 clicks to get that. However, to do the redesign, there are areas where there are articles that are separated in the web. Something that should be together maybe in 2 or 3 places, it has to be put together in one place so you get it with 1 click. There's also articles where there's information missing, we need more information. One of the things that we need help on, and I reach out to the people, especially those that have complaints about the website, help us create those articles. In some cases, it's just pulling things together that are already there. In some cases, it's doing research. You don't have to do the research. If you know somebody that has the information, if it's a legal thing and you want to talk to Notario or whomever, you can do that. But again, we can't get the website changed until we get more people to help. Right now, we've got a couple of supervisors that are working on it. At this rate, it's going to take us 2 years. Don't want to do it in 2 years. We want to have it done by the GA meeting. So we need help. So again, reaching out to people. If you're willing to invest some time, please reach out to me, stevekimmy@gmail.com, or just respond to the newsletter. Any response to the newsletter comes to me as editor, and say you're willing, and I'll sit down with you and talk about the things we need, and hopefully we can get some help so we can get this website fixed, so it's more user-friendly than it is today. And again, no disparaging comments about how it was done. And when people put it together, they had no idea how it was going to be used. Now we have years of data. We've done the analysis, so it's going to be a data-driven redesign. So please help us make your website better. Thank you.
Thanks. I have a quick question. I live in Rancho del Sol Place, so I'm on the corner of, I'm on the corner of Bahia, Topolobampo, and Bahia, Guadalupana. And one early evening, I saw a truck with military personnel and big guns. Can you tell me anything that that's about?
They are called Rambos.
Okay.
No, the thing is this, remember that Mexico is a republic. So all the authorities have access everywhere. Like in any other country, the armies can go wherever they want. So when an army truck comes to our gates, for example, all our roads are not property of the ranch. They are public roads. So the Mexicali County has permitted us to have gates and check who comes in, who comes out. But in reality, we don't have the total authority to say to somebody, you cannot come in. They have allowed us to do a search and a screen. When an authority comes to the door, you just have to say hi and open the door. They go in, they have their own missions, they have their own assignments. Even if you ask them, they will never tell you why they are here. They will just tell you, have a good day, nice to see you. Say, okay, see you, that's it. So, what I can tell you, an honest answer, is they are here because it's safe for us that they are here.
Oh, I get that. I just wondered if it's possible for somebody to get in, like even on foot. Were they looking for somebody?
They can come any way they want. They can come in a truck, they can come walking, any way. We will know when somebody crosses to the ranch because we have the infrared system. If they don't tell us they are coming, which usually they don't, they usually come by the roads. But let's say that today they decide to come through a green belt. The moment they cross our red infrared system, we immediately know somebody crossed. We send our patrols and then they say, it's military, okay? If there is a guy on foot, we immediately stop him and say, who are you, what are you doing here? We have found people that say, I get lost, really, and some are demented, people that are out of their minds, drugs or things like that, and we just put them out and tell them, you can go to the next camp, don't be here.
So if the military came, they might have had some information about somebody they were looking for?
No, they usually don't say nothing. It's their own business.
Okay.
Usually, we have a very good communication. The guy over there, Ricardo, who is the operations manager, he is in charge of all the security of the ranch. For sure, Lalo and me, we share that responsibility. But Ricardo is in contact with the military, with the Navy, with the federal police, with the county police, with everybody. So we are always in contact. I know the Attorney General, I know the General, I know the Commodore, I know the same people, but I don't have the time to be in contact with all of them, so Ricardo do that. He doesn't have the time, but he has the time to do that too. But yeah, in general, we are in contact.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Charlotte Park, Condo 324.
Yes, Charlie.
Thank you first for putting in the safety bars in.
Put your mic.
Thank you first for putting in the safety bars in women's bathrooms. I don't know if they've done the men's or not, but find it helpful when you're showering. My next question has to do with our bills from Telenor. I don't know if anybody else is having this problem, but we don't get them every month. And I was told by Lolita, somebody picks them up and takes them to the fire station. And then maybe they never get them from the fire station. Why? I mean, I haven't had one like in 3 months, and I like to see what I'm being charged for. Can something be done about that?
Not really. First notice I get about this. We are going to check with Lolita. Sarina is in charge of the office, so she will check it out, and we can let you know what happened with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, but the bills have to be in the office. Yes. Welcome.
Bob Miller, Rancho del Sol 3. I was on the website recently. It took me 190 clicks to go find something. That's all. Well, thank you. Maybe I should get a mouse. SAFE is not providing on a regular basis reports. They haven't for quite some time. Jerry Lytle, who was the coordinator for SAFE, he had an open heart surgery, and I'm not exactly sure the stats, but I was wondering whether or not there is some department in El Dorado, like security, that might be able to put together a report of burglaries and have it posted to the website. Yes.
Yes.
So last month, when we ran a safety report in the newsletter, and we're expecting one this month, so we now have SAFE giving us monthly reports that will go in the newsletter and be posted on the web. Dick made this happen, but we noticed the same thing, so we're trying to get it back.
Okay.
And so
Dan Westwood and Don Miller are co-chairman of SAFE now. And Dan is the one that's putting the report together.
Okay, because I went to the resources and under the SAFE subdirectory, there wasn't anything there since March of 2017. I'm not criticizing the situation.
You're right, there's nothing there. So again, they're coming in under the newsletter, and with the redesign, there'll be, front and center and stuff. What we don't want to do is try to populate stuff the old way and then have to move it to the new way.
Sure.
So it's with the newsletter, and you just click and read it.
Yeah, there's stuff there from 2015 you might just delete.
We're thinking about just moving it to your computer since you have so much storage.
Oh, good.
went to one of the first meetings of SAFE with this reorganization that it had. We have a very good talk with all the SAFE people, and I think so they are getting together very strongly, very good, and they are preparing to do more work. They are implementing new things into the program, and I think so you will be contacted for them, and you will be more enthusiastic about coming into the program because they are doing a really good job. Next, please.
Hi, I'm Carla Martinez. I'm 3414 Cassiopeia Cerrada. I'm new to the community, but I have experienced some things that is bothering me, like, for example, I've been on the beach and there's fireworks at noon. Guests or people living here, and I call security and nobody comply and nobody show up. I went to HOA, they told me that, of course, it is prohibited. And being a Mexican, I know for a fact, nowhere in the world, in Mexico, it's a firework at noon. They only use it in Christmas. So I want to know what's going to happen on 4th of July here.
Well, it will happen what always happen. They're used.
I'm new here.
The thing is this, the beach is federal, so we don't have any attributions in the beach. It has to be the Navy the ones who enforce the laws. We go, I don't know, we will find out why in this case that you call security, they didn't went on. But usually our people goes, what they do is they have to talk with the people, just tell them, convince them, this is dangerous, you should not do this, etc. But as a matter of fact, we are not an authority.
I understand that, but again, at 12 at noon, I mean, people come here to retire, to be comfortable on the beach at noon. Somebody, kids, I don't know if they were renters, and then we have to enforce the renters.
Yes, but let me tell you something. When something happens, we tend to say always they are renters, they are Mexicans, they are this, they are from here, they are from there. At the end,
I understand, and I did tell them, you cannot do this. This is a private property. I know that it's federal, again, because I'm Mexican, but there's in front of the from our property that is kind of protected for us.
yes, as a matter of fact, we have a court all around the area. But even, for example, sometimes people comes to me and say, there were kids in quads going around the Las Villas. They were owners kids, not renters. In the case of the fire department, I can tell you that I was a hotelier before coming into the HOA, and I have been in 5 fires in hotels because of firecrackers. So I hate them.
Yeah, and then the other thing they leave them there is trash.
Yeah, finally it's trash, there's a risk, there's always... I have seen hands blown out because sometimes they like a bigger one and some of them have a short fuse, and when they do this, it's too late. They explode in their hands. So the people doesn't realize that until it happens to them.
And last, my neighbors told me last year in 4th of July they were throwing, and we have palapas, and they can catch on fire very easily. And they were throwing in Hacienda del Sol in the back.
Yes, when we go there, usually they are done with them. Usually.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, the other thing is that I was at the pool, and also I don't think they enforced the rules and regulations for the pool. There were people with
In the palapa?
There were people with music, very loud, Mexicans, like me. And I told them to the security, there's a rules and regulation. Oh, is it too loud? Of course it's loud. And the other thing, they were smoking. I said, oh, this is open. I said, no, if you read there, it said it's a
no smoking.
No smoking, there's an area just for smoking. I don't like that. I'm allergic to smoke, and they have to enforce it. I said, well, they don't do anything. Like, well, you have to talk to them.
Yeah. Ricardo, take a note, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ross Wilkin.
We will follow up in all what you say. Yes.
Ross Wilkin, Vista Del Mar. It came to mind as we were watching your slide presentation, as it does each time we have these meetings, all the work that HOA employees, security and so forth does for us, oftentimes jobs that, you know, we would not even think about doing. It's the one in there with the hazmat outfits. So I was thinking the HOA should have a yearly EDR Employee Appreciation Day celebration and ceremony one time a year when there's a lot of us here, where we can recognize the HOA employees and see them, because many are in hidden facilities kind of, you know, we don't see them on a day-to-day basis. And to support that on the new website, there should be a place that as an employee does something really special, we want to recognize that employee, that we can post on the website, you know, say so-and-so did this for me today and I greatly appreciate it. You know, name out the employees, because I think they're, you know, in the States we have heroes, you know, and these are our unsung heroes down here for all that they do. They work very hard. They make our lives much easier than they would be otherwise. And I really don't think they're properly recognized. I know you do have in the HOA headquarters and stuff, you do have employees of the month, but that seems to be more internal, whereas I think we should open it up and all of us should recognize the employees better.
Yes.
You know, I'm not capable of doing the function, but the ideas and things, I have other thoughts and ideas, as I've mentioned many times here, because I own several websites myself. I can't build them or anything, but I know how they function. And in that regard, I make one suggestion. Don't rely a great deal on where people necessarily go on the existing website, because that's kind of self-driven. It's kind of like doing a survey in Playboy magazine about, do you like, you know, sexy women? I mean, it's Playboy magazine, so of course, you know. So the old website, everyone tended to go to one place because it's the only thing they can figure out. So that doesn't mean that was their favorite place. You know, like resources, everything was buried in resources, where it should have been, you know, many other places. So some of the sites that you would think nobody was interested in, it was because there was nothing of interest there. So keep that in mind.
So Sabrina's not going to
Right. Thank you.
Good idea, Ross. Thank you.
Tom Gorman, Lena Vista, 7800. There used to be a solar loan program at the HOA where owners waiting for electric, get loans, you know, to have some power to their house. And, HOA was providing these loans for the batteries and the panels. Is that solar zone program over?
Well, the last one I know about it was given around 2014 or 15, and then the program was disabled. Right now, we don't have it. That's a real thing, but it's something to ponder.
Yeah, the last HOA manager told me to come in and get a loan. And I think the program had ended, so I see people putting real expensive systems in out there that they're saying that somebody paid for their battery or whatever. I just wonder who's making solar loans out there right now. We put some solar in the house, we don't have enough to put it year round. It's like $15,000 or $20,000. So is there somebody making solar loans or being people got batteries out there?
No, not now.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Howard Hayes from Palos Verde Norte. I've got a
if anybody can get in touch with me, I got a cell phone. I'm at Lot 2, Lot 6 on Raya Espina. You can't miss it. The big ugly white blob on the left side of the road heading into Palisburg 1.
Let me, Ricardo, toma los datos del señor, please. We will try to help you. This is like a shot in the air. It's going to be really hard because you don't remember the name of the guy who with you made the contract. But there is some people around that have good memories. Maybe somebody remember something about that.
The details that I remember is that somebody complained about my blue exterior color. And someone named Jerry from the compliance department, I suspect on the rent, came out and decided that it needed to be changed. So someone from either the homeowners association or the ranch named Virginia called me an El Centro on the phone. And we negotiated the contract. I paid the $1,865. They hired a ranch employee, I believe, an elderly man, who, like I said, sprayed the white paint on it and then passed away. And at that point, the job got dropped.
Okay, let me try to help you. I am not sure if I will be able, but we will try.
Thank you. That's all that I need.
Okay.
A little help.
Ricardo will take your name and lot number and all your information.
Hello, Janice. I'm in condo 24. When they paint the condos, are they doing a full paint of the exterior or touch-up?
No, we do the whole building and we repair the metals and the lamps and all that stuff.
I brought this up probably about 2 years ago. Our building looks like it was fingerprinted. You're going to look into it?
We can look at it. Sometimes we do the request for actions. Right now we are not doing that anymore. We are painting the whole building.
Okay. That's not the case on our building. Maybe you can send someone out to look at it.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 or 3 years ago it was painted and it doesn't look like something. Another question I have, the recent condo fire, was my understanding that either the owner or somebody was going to take care of the rebuild themselves financially. Can you give us an update on that, please?
Yes, right now they are finishing all the studies to make the biddings and all that. Lupita is working with them. So I just got notice 2 days ago that they are almost finished with the budget and all that. They are going to sit down with the neighbor to sign up the contract. So they are subject to a contract. And Michael Schwartz is involved a little bit because his condo has some damage, which was not for the fire. It was a guy who think that making holes in the wall will stop the fire. And I stopped that guy personally and told him, well, I don't want to say what I said to him. But I said, what do you think you are doing? He said, well, I'm stopping the fire. I said, with that you are making air vents. You are calling the fire here. So I didn't know. So we stopped him.
That repair work will not be going through the insurance company.
No, this is because we already have the warning from the insurance company.
Right.
So if we go to the insurance company, we will lose the insurance. So this was, we talked with the owner of the house, the one who caused the fire. We told him, you know, guy, this is your problem. And he says, no, I admit it, don't have any problem, I'll fix it, and I'll talk with the neighbor. We make a meeting with the neighbor, they agree on terms, it's going to be done.
And they have the financial means to be able to make the repairs.
Yes. As a matter of fact, the guy is a constructor.
I know, that's why I was asking.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yes. You're welcome. Okay, guys, this is the end of the questions. If nobody has any more questions, thank you very much for being here. And your proposals will be taken. Thank you.